the new world #1 in action, Joe.
Yes, we are, and it's going to be interesting, this match, because Martin Gould, of course, was the guy that Neil Robertson beat in the World Championship when he was 11-5 down. He'd booked out of his hotel, and that was the year that he won the World Championship, 2010. It's going to be very interesting, this match. Who knows, it could have been Martin Gould that was world champion. He'll be thinking that. Such an attacking player, Neil Robertson, though. Very exciting to watch him play. And make no mistake, Martin Gould is as well. Very attacking players, both of these.
Winner of this match will play the winner of the match between Marco Fu and Mark King. That's a match that's going on this morning on the outside table, so we'll keep you in touch with developments in the other matches this morning. We've already had a few results today. Jimmy White bowing out after his fine victory over the defending champion here in Wuxi, Ricky Walden, in the second round. He was beaten today by Rob Milkins. Anthony Hamilton surprised Stuart Bingham by 5 frames to 2. And what a win for Chow Yu Peng over the World Championship runner-up Barry Hawkins, coming through in a final frame decider. This the afternoon session in China. Remember, 7 hours in front of you if you're watching in Europe.
Well, that attempt at the pot red by Martin Gould left the red on. But he's just come a little too far on the blue. May have to take the pink. And deliberately tried to leave that one short so he could nudge another couple of reds out. Nicely played. Had to go at that long red. Unfortunately, left one on. Well, did it drift a little, the white ball, before it got to the red? He was trying to hold for the blue so he could split the pack. But you can count that as a bad miss. A chance gone begging there for Neil Robertson.
Yes, he knew almost as soon as the cue ball left the tip of his cue that that had gone wrong.
Just having a look at that red over the middle pocket. Robertson just missed. Well, that's so unfortunate, but that's the risk you take when you go into the reds. .46 points in front now. Won't need any of the bad reds. And it was a little bit unfortunate, to say the least, Martin Gould, to knock the red in. Going into the pack of reds. New world number one, he's looking sharp. Come on, ref. A little quicker.
Robertson's adapted to the pace of the table very quickly this morning. One or two of the top players have struggled this week in the early stages to adapt to the conditions. Not so Robertson, he's straight into his stroke here. Well, the black stays out, but the frame was long since won. Frustration for Martin Gould then in knocking in that red after splitting the pack with the blue, but Robertson capitalised to take the first frame. Day 3 of the Wuxi Classic Snooker, the first major ranking event of the brand new season. And Neil Robertson has made a good start to his round of 32 match against the man in your picture there, Martin Gould, who was a little unlucky. He split the pack of reds off the blue but saw a red drop in. And Robertson capitalised with a 40-plus break to take the opening frame. Winner of this one to play either Marco Fu or Mark King in the last 16. They're still playing their opening frame on one of the outside tables. John Higgins back in action this morning, following his victory over Vinny Calabrese yesterday. First frame still underway there with the colourful Deshawat Poomjang, who made such a name for himself at the Crucible. And the other match on one of the two main match tables, Mark Williams and Jack Lazowski. First frame still in progress there with Williams well ahead. And that's a match, remember, that can be enjoyed over on Eurosport 1.
Well, that attacking shot that Martin Gould just played got him onto the black, but he forgot to pot the red. He's left a chance for Neil Robertson. Anxious looks here to see if he's pulled the cue ball back far enough for the black. A little careless because he wanted to be fairly straight on this black, to be able to drop on the two reds below the black. Hard to see from that angle if you can get it or not. Had to play it with a lot of left-hand side on the cue ball just to turn the white slightly. Couldn't do anything with it, but it hasn't finished up too badly. Still difficult shot seized into a blind pocket. He's missed it. Just seemed to drift a little to the right as we were watching it. So a chance for Martin Gould. Gould has just left a nice angle on this red to open a few more reds. Well, he didn't have any side on the cue ball, which would have took him up towards the blue or brought him back towards the black. Left hand side would have took him towards the blue. Just watch the cue ball here, it just checks. Either side on the white would have took him towards the colours. This is a tough black, but he's got no choice but to take it on. Had to concentrate on the pot.
16.
Didn't put anything into the position. And you can't blame him. It was a tough pot. Oh, that was a cracking shot into the middle at that angle, and that's given him a great chance. The red's nicely spread. I think both of these players are up for this match.
We all know about Neil Robertson's achievements in the game, but Gould, a very capable player in his own right. He won the Championship League at Crondon Park in Essex, England earlier this year. Former power snooker champion, former shootout champion in Blackpool.
Yes, he's just taking some consideration over this shot because all the reds seem to be covering one another. So he's going to have to be pretty accurate with his next positional shot.
36.
The red directly above the black may go to the right corner, but not easy to get onto that red. Has he come far enough? He tried to get onto that red I was talking about, just above the black. But he may be fortunate to be able to see that red to the right centre. No, it's just the safety. Well, that's a let-off really for Neil Robertson. Gould is well and truly in there. Just failed to get position on the red. He's not looking for plants, he's just looking to see how the reds are going to break. He doesn't want to push one over the left corner. And that's just what he's done. But fortunately he's got a very good cue ball. Still potable, this red, but because the cue ball's close to the cushion, it's a very difficult pot. That's another terrific cut. Not such a good kiss on the pink though. Very unfortunate. Fortunately, hasn't left anything easy for Martin Gould. Wasn't easy, but it was a good pot. Tried to leave the hamper over the brown. Didn't quite make it. Thought it may have tied up behind the green there. Played the snooker. Well, he's digging them out, isn't he? That's another very good pot. And surely this time in behind the green. Could have played in behind the green last time, but chose to play the hamper. But this is deep trouble now for Neil Robertson. If he landed up to the red on the left side cushion, he'd leave the cover, two reds to the right corner pocket covering each other. If he plays up to the red by the black, he could leave the red by the black spot. Well, it was the hit and hope, and not too bad, I suppose. Got a red to the baulk corner. Finished a lot worse than this. But another good pot by Martin Gould, and surely that's the end of this frame. 42 points in front. Points in front, just needs the black. Doesn't need to play position. Doesn't want to play position and miss the black.
Good response this from Gould then, after the disappointment of losing the opening frame, when he might have won it had he not seen a red drop in. Having potted the blue to split the bunch. He looks in good form. He's potted some excellent long balls already. It's about the only long ball that he's missed, in fact, so far, but he was long since past the winning line, and it's one frame apiece here. We'll have frame 3 in a moment. Very promising start to this round of 32 match between Martin Gould and the former world champion Neil Robertson, who took the first frame. Gould hitting back to win the second, both potting very well, seem to have got the pace of the table. Both players looking in good form, and we have the makings of a really cracking match here in Wuxi. Just to bring you up to date with developments on the other main match table, Mark Williams took the opening frame against Jack Lisowski, but as I speak, Lisowski set to win the second, having come from some way behind to do so. And indeed, Williams has conceded. So one frame apiece in that one. That match currently over on Eurosport 1. John Higgins lost the first frame against Deshawat Poomjang. And David Morris, who holds the top break in the tournament to date, 138. He's taken the opening frame against Gerard Green. Marco Fu leads Mark King 1-0. The winner of that one to play the winner of the match you're watching now with us.
So, second attempt. This snooker just needed a little bit more side. Well, that was an interesting shot he played there. Played off the pack of reds to open them. Could have chose to play off the red next to the black. And a little fortunate to have got the cue ball close to the brown. He's pushed this red over the left corner. It's still possible, but awkward cueing. Doesn't need to go to pot it. Could play it full ball, leave the cue ball on the cushion. Very risky to play the shot. To play the pot, that is. Didn't want the double kiss. Now can Neil Robertson be tempted by this red? Either into the baulk corner or the middle. He'd be leaving the red over the pocket if he missed it. Missed it by some distance. Look where the cue ball's landed. Next to the brown again. But this time, he could get at the cue ball. Hasn't quite come far enough on this red to be able to play onto the blue. The black will go to the left corner, but difficult to get onto the black as well. Look at all the check side on the cue ball there. He did well to get onto the blue, and he's got sufficient enough angle to come in and out of balk. Nice right hand side on the cue ball there to give himself choice of reds. Yeah, just didn't get enough screw on the cue ball. Wanted to hit the other side of the red.
Green ball.
Green ball called. He'll be trying to drop in behind the green. He hit it hard enough. This is an excellent shot. Just needed to hit it a little fuller. We've got the snooker. Right, this is a half chance. Well, refused the pot. Looked to be an angle there to stun between the balls. Take the cue ball back to balk, but decided to play safe. He didn't like it. Well, again, refusing that long pot in favour of the safety.
John Higgins has just made a century break to level his match with Dechawat Poomjang. 1 frame apiece in that one.
I don't think he'll refuse this one, but difficult to avoid all those reds. The black sat there waiting. Good pot, and he did manage to miss them, and what a good kiss that was. That could be a frame winner, that kiss. Probably like to clear one or two of those reds around the black spot before taking the black. Maybe able to play the cannon to those 3 reds from the black. And that couldn't have worked out any better. He's on this red to the left corner. And when he takes that red, the black will go into both pockets. Well, it looks tight, the black. Both of these reds to the left of the black will go into the left corner. Needed a bit more pace in the cue ball there. This time he has the angle on the blue to go down towards those 2 reds. I'm not sure what he played there. Maybe he played to touch the reds open. He had a lot of left-hand side on the cue ball. It was never easy. And again, he's been a little fortunate there.
So Robertson getting away with that one, having missed the red. 17, 16 points, his lead I should say. I'll tell you that Jack Lazowski has just moved 2-1 in front of Mark Williams. Over on table 1. Williams having taken the opening frame.
Where's that red going to finish? Right over the pocket. And a chance now for Martin Gould. Nice angle on the black, just to go into those 4 reds just above it. Couldn't have split any better.
That was whirlwind stuff.
Oh, he's underhit that one. Oh, did he get a kick? Or was it just a poor shot? He thinks he got a kick. This was a brilliant split.
Big opportunity has gone begging there for Gould then.
Well, he may be forced into taking this red on. The safety, not easy. He managed to get the cue ball out of the danger area, but that red has come round the table and left Gould with a chance here. Would have liked a more favourable kiss on the blue. Well, never easy those shots, but look where the yellow's finished up. He missed it by some distance. Well, I suppose if he did get a kick on that red to the centre, that makes up for it.
Some flukes are more valuable than others, and if Gould can capitalise here and make a frame-winning contribution, it'll be doubly hurtful for Robertson.
Yes, that cue ball just drifted a little too far, and now may have to go in and out of baulk. The green and brown not in good positions for that shot. And that couldn't have gone any worse, really. Careful of the double kiss. He's got to hit it first, I suppose. A half chance here for Neil Robertson. He's 7 points behind now. Nice pot. And left himself with a nice angle on the blue to come down for the red. I thought it may have played down for the green there, which would have freed the yellow into that pocket. But as long as he gets on the yellow here, well, the yellow passes the green. So the key shot to this frame you would expect to be brown to blue.
Up to and including the blue required for Robertson to edge back in front.
Tough shots those, and he couldn't hit it much harder, otherwise the brown wouldn't have gone in. So just the blue required. And that'll do nicely.
Yeah, Robertson, 26.
19 the difference then, 13 remaining, one snooker to tie for Gould.
Well, the black not in a bad position for snookers. It's a very good attempt. Twice across the table. It's got to miss that middle pocket. Well, missed it by too much. Half a chance here at the snooker. Just needs to avoid the double kiss. Oh, too much side. Needed to hit the other side of the middle pocket.
Martin Gould trying to get the snooker he requires then to have a chance to force a re-spotted black. Tall order. John Higgins has just moved 2-1 in front of Dechawad Poomjang on one of the outside tables. Marco Fu and Mark King are level at 1 apiece. Winner of that one to play the winner of this for a place in the quarterfinals. Has he potted it? He has, and he didn't want that to happen. So Gould's attempt to get the snooker fails, and Neil Robertson has edged into a 2-1 lead here in Wuxi. The third day of the Wuxi Classic snooker here, with Neil Robertson having edged a tight third frame to move 2-1 in front of Martin Gould. A place in the last 16 up for grabs. First of 5 frames will progress. Over on table 1, Mark Williams is trailing Jack Lazowski 2-1. Scrappy 4th frame in progress there. That match, remember, can be enjoyed over on Eurosport 1. Dave Hendon and Mike Hallett are at the microphones.
Well, he couldn't get onto the black. He tried his best to get onto the blue, and he used the right side of the blue, but whether he can open that pack of reds from there, which is what he's going to need to do to continue the break. Yes, he couldn't put any power into the shot. A good attempt. Well, that's the Mark Williams cue action, isn't it? Here we go again. Never seen anybody else do that.
Gould 17.
I thought he'd patented that, Mark Williams. Yeah, that's an excellent pot, but a little short of pace. He's too straight on the blue. Such a good long potter, Neil Robertson. It always surprises me when he refuses long ones. And a couple of inches there, it could have been end of frame. Well, just as I'm giving him lots of sugar on the long shots, he misses one.
And holds his hand up to Martin Gould because he hasn't done much damage. Is that by some distance?
Good pace on the cue ball, and that makes this safety shot just that little bit more difficult. If it comes off the pack of reds, he'll be opening them. Something to think about here. Caught it too thick. Cue ball needs to slow down. Years of practice. Well, what a good shot that was. Good safety there from Martin Gould. Can't see Robertson leaving anything on here. But well thought out from Martin Gould to play that shot. Well, he tried to hit the two reds just above the black spot. I thought he would have been going more into the middle of the cluster. And he has left a red on. A little too straight on the green. Brown is blocking the way for the red just above the black spot, so he may have to go into them here. And it's a little thin, this blue.
Jack Lazowski has just taken a lengthy fourth frame to move 3-1 in front of Mark Williams. We're now into a mid-session interval.
Well, I'm not sure what he played there. Maybe that red there that you can see will just go. But he can't get to it. Very close, and without the double kiss, he got the cue ball safe. So another chance for Martin Gould. He's already 24 points in front. If he can take the brown here, that opens the way for balls into that pocket. If he plays for the black here, he's got to be careful. Has to land on it in such a way as to get to a red. That red just below the pink spot will go to the left corner. But he's got to be fairly straight on this red to get position.
13.
And that would do nicely.
14.
If he can get onto that red, just to the right of the pink, and then take the pink, that leaves him on a red to the left corner. Not quite hard enough. 53 points in front. Oh, he can get this, to this red. Oh, now a great chance, but he's the wrong side of the blue. 54 points in front. 59 with the blue. He needs one more red. This looks good. Great positional shot.
35.
Just the red needed. Well, I suppose 2 each is a fair result of this first session.
Twice Neil Robertson has led, and twice he's been pegged back.
that double kiss when he attempted the long red, Neil Robertson, and allowed Martin Gould with this break.
I think the scoreboard may be faulty. We've had one or two problems in that regard in the first couple of days of this event. No question that Gould is going to win this frame, however. Missed the one, of course, before the mid-session break, and a best of 9 has become a best of 5. So that break of 64, more than enough then for Martin Gould to tie the score at the 15-minute interval. It's Neil Robertson 2, Martin Gould 2. And we'll play either Marco Fu or Mark King. That's a real battle of attrition. They've yet to reach their interval. King leading 2-1 with a useful points lead in the fourth. John Higgins 3-1 up on Dechawat Poomjang. Higgins has made a century today. And David Morris, who holds the tournament high break of 138, he shared the first 4 frames of his match with Gerard Green. So you're up to date.
So in effect this is a best of 5 now, as Philip said earlier. The nervy end of the match. And he caught that a little thin, the safety, and this is definitely a chance. Just a matter of whether he plays for the black or the blue. A good opening pot, and nicely onto the black. This is the kind of situation that Robertson normally takes full advantage of. Always interesting to see how each player grips the cue. Robertson puts all his fingers round the cue. Some just use just a couple of fingers, a light grip. And it's all about choice. Chose to lead this long red instead of going in and out of balk, trying to get closer to it. And a nice angle now on the black, just to play a cannon to that red directly above the black. Leave himself on the red to the right corner. And that, after taking this red, opens the way for 2 or 3 others. One more loose red to play for. But he saw the angle on the black, chose to go into them. Didn't wait until he potted that last loose red. And he's on a red to the right centre. Not quite as easy as he would have liked, but you expect him to pot this. So one more red required. I said at the beginning of this break that this is the kind of position that he likes. In and around the black. Well, this frame over in a matter of minutes. Nothing he can do about it. It was that loose safety shot that he played. The beginning of the frame, caught the middle pocket bump, left the long red on for Robertson, and the rest, as I say,
Robertson not impressed with the mathematics skills on show, but this is his best break of the match to date. He's amassed 267 career centuries, made a 147 by the way in the qualifying round for Wuxi against the Egyptian player Mohamed Kari. Remember, this is one of the events this season where the top players have to enter at the very first round, the 128 round. Mark Selby and Sean Murphy fell by the wayside in that round, so didn't make it to the televised stages. But Neil Robertson's break there, more than enough to account for the fifth frame. Neil Robertson then retakes control in this battle with Martin Gould. 3 times he's led now. Terrific opening red from Gould though. 3-2, Robertson 2 frames from victory.
yes, what a cracking red this was. But he could have finished nicer on the blue. Doesn't want to slip by it, and that's most unfortunate. There's a thin red to the right corner, but he would have been right in there had he been able to see that red into the left corner.
Mark Williams has managed to pull a frame back against Jack Lazowski, so 3-2 to Lazowski on table 1.
Yes, it was a little unfortunate. And games can turn round on little rubs of luck like that. Choice of reds for Neil Robertson. chose to take that red to leave an angle on the pack to go into them, knowing that he'd have that red over the right corner as insurance. This is a good chance if he can split the reds here. Well, he split them, but only managed to knock 2 or 3 out. And we know he's cueing well from the last frame. Nicely on the black, just a stun up for the red into the opposite corner. Well, he got a slight kick there, which took the pace out of the cue ball. But it shouldn't be a problem. He's still on the black. The red above the black and to the right will go into the same pocket. Played for the red into the left middle first. Chance to open more reds, and look at that. And he had that left hand side on the cue ball, which took him up towards the blue. Just watch the side on the cue ball here. Zip. And perfectly on the blue. Nothing he can do about this. He was very unfortunate to get the cover on the red.
Robertson, though, noticeably moving up a couple of gears since the interval. Very tightly contested in the first 4 frames. But he's finding some real fluency now. 70+ break in the previous frame to edge in front again. Never been behind. And now the chance to move to within 1 of victory.
Just could have done with coming a little further on this red. Although should be able to play for the pink here. .56 points in front, just checking the scoreboard. Need another red after this pink. as Phil said, he's in the groove. Made an 86 in the last frame. He's going to win this frame at one visit. Doesn't get any better than that.
4. Fine.
It's what the very top players are capable of doing, isn't it, Joe? Finding that extra something when it really matters.
Yes, he seems that whatever he had in the interval, his cup of tea or coffee or whatever it was, certainly worked, because he's come out like a man possessed in this second half. Just needed one chance in the last and one chance in this one. Great player, make no mistake. Number 1 in the world.
87.
And when he's in full flow like this, not a better player to watch. Tried to bring the other red off, and what about that for a shot? Could have landed better on a colour, but you wouldn't put it past him to pot this pink. Thin cut to the left middle maybe. Extremely thin cut. Well, it must go to the corner.
Robertson 88 in the fifth.
Well, a pity that Robertson couldn't complete the century, but he's in sparkling form now, and he's moved 4-2 in front. It's been one chance snooker from the 2010 world champion Neil Robertson since the mid-session interval. Clinical stuff from the left-hander from Melbourne, Australia, as he's moved within a frame of victory over Martin Gould. Robertson 4-2 to the good. Gould with a lot to do now.
Well, nothing you can do about that, is there? What a great pot.
Absolute humdinger from Robertson, who came to prominence really with his reputation for being a great single ball potter, and that was right out of the top drawer. He's added a lot more to his game since then.
Yes, just looking to see if he pots the green, if he can come down and land on this red behind the black. It looks a very tight positional shot, this. Good pot on the green, and he's managed to get onto the red. He's looking to win frame and match here. You can almost feel it. But that's a rare miss, trying to hold for the black, which he did do. Now this plant shouldn't be too difficult for Martin Gould. Didn't want the other red to go in. Left a nice angle on this red to open the reds up when he pots this red. So all on this shot. Deng with a better angle on the black, being a bit closer to it. Tough shots these, when you've got to screw back to the cushion.
70.
Choice of reds to play for. Could play the red to the right corner, try and finish high on the blue. Open the reds up. Not quite got the angle on the black to open the red, so we'll have to play for that last loose red. So important to leave an angle on the colour here if he pots the red, to be able to open those reds in a cluster there. Good pot on the red. Not quite got the angle on the yellow. Next one's going to be a good one. Now that's a good pot, but he just got a little bit too much stun on the cue ball. Very unfortunate to going off, but he did get too much stun on it.
Probably fair to say that Gould hasn't had much luck so far. One or two unlucky kisses, and the ball hasn't quite run for him at key moments. That can turn around. He's got to keep fighting. Mark Williams, meanwhile, is fighting. He's recovered from 3-1 down to level against Jack Lazowski at 3-all. That match, remember, over on Eurosport 1.
Meanwhile, he's had a good look at this plant, and he'd have to hit it on the left-hand side as we're looking at it. He's taking it on. He's got it. Is he on the black? He deserves to be on the black, taking that very difficult plant on. Looks like he is. judged the cannon to perfection.
8. 9. 14.
Still 25 points behind Neil Robertson, but great chance this. Came a little bit too far last time he played this shot. May not have come far enough this time. No. Back up for the blue again.
Charge of the cavalry, meanwhile. That's surely not a ringtone.
William Tell's going to be popping in any moment now.
Robertson seemingly unfazed though. He smells blood here.
He's focused, isn't he?
6.
One result to bring you, by the way. John Higgins continuing his fine form from Sofia, the first European Tour event of the new season, which he won by defeating Robertson in the final. Well, he's through to the last 16. He's dismissed Deshawat Pumjang 5-1. And he'll play either Zhao Gudong or Li Hang, conqueror of Judd Trump, for a place in the quarterfinals.
Again, playing the cannon to the red, playing it superbly. Wasn't easy, that, and he's finished top side of the black to be able to get onto this last red. And black takes him into the lead by 3 points. Need up to and including the brown. Watch the side on the cue ball here. Look at the side. Taking him up towards the yellow.
50.
Well, Robertson has struck the ball beautifully in the last 3 frames. He's really taken a grip on this match. From 2-all.
He's just needed one chance in each of the frames, hasn't he? And that is good snooker.
Not much Martin Gould can do now. The game is nearly up for him. He was certainly competitive in the early stages. Hasn't had the best of luck, you could argue. But equally, there's no doubt that Neil Robertson deserves this victory. Tremendous performance from the Aussie. And when he's flying like this, he does make the game look ridiculously easy. Wonderful clearance then from Neil Robertson. He's reeled off 3 frames in no time since the interval, and a shake of the hand with Martin Gould. Robertson is through in fine style. A 5-2 victory. He'll now play either Marco Fu or Mark King for a place in the quarterfinals. King leading that one by 3 frames to 1.